awesome artists. So today we're going to get started on our clay cupcake inspired boxes. All right, so they are going to open and close. And today we're going to start the pinch pot base for your cupcake. Okay, so if you want to have the texture of the cupcake tins, we do have these here for you to use. You're actually going to do the pinch pot inside this, and then you're going to get the texture from the silicone mold here, okay? Now, as a reminder, clay is a privilege. And clay dust is bad for our lungs. We want to make sure we're staying clean. You have the wet wipe at your spot to wipe off your hands while you're working. If you ever feel like they're just a little too gunky, you can wash them in the sink, but we don't want to just keep washing our hands over and over again because then we won't have enough time. But always keep your clay on your clay mat, okay? If any falls down, pick it up so that way we stay safe. Okay, the first thing I'm doing here is rolling into a sphere. Now I'm going to start by putting it in here and pushing down. As a reminder, this is opening up our clay, okay? We want it to be about 1/4 inch on the bottom, on the sides, kind of like a fuzzy caterpillar. So that 1/4 inch thickness, okay? I'll take this out real quick. If this happens to you where you push too far, it's all right. I'm just gonna dip my finger in a little bit of the water and just kind of re-roll up my clay again. All right, so if that happens to you, that's okay. We're just gonna re-roll the clay. All right, and if you haven't done a pinch pot before, I know friends that have been here have done them before, but if you are coming from a different school, you might not have. And so you just re-roll it with a little bit of water. Your clay should feel cool. If it starts to feel hot, it means it's being overworked and you're rolling it too much, okay? So it shouldn't start to feel hot. All right, now I put my thumb on the inside, fingers on the out. Thumb on the inside, fingers on the out. And I'm turning and pinching the base. Turn and pinch. Turn and pinch. You can always dip my finger in some water. Just kind of smooth up the sides there. I don't want to add too much water, especially at this stage, because then it will stick to my mold. All right? That's not what I want to happen. Not what I'm going for. So I'm turning and pinching the base, and that's pulling the clay up the sides. If you pinch outward, your clay is going to go outward, okay? It's not if I pinch inward, my clay is going to kind of curve in. It's not magical. The clay it reacts to what you are doing to it, okay? And so if I just want it to be straight, I'm going to go ahead and just pinch like that. So the way your hands are pinching will then change what happens to your clay. All right, this is looking pretty good. I can smooth the rim with my finger here before I add any water. I don't actually want to add water yet because I don't want this to be stuck to the mold. Okay, so I'm just gonna make it pretty. Make it pretty. Okay, smooth up my edges here. Okay, I can also dip one of the clay tools in the water here and just kind of smooth it out. Smooth it out. All right, kind of like that. Okay, that part's bothering me on the inside. I'll just smooth like that. Dip it in the water if it starts to catch on the clay, and turn and smooth. I'm always supporting my clay when I'm doing that, so that way it just doesn't, if I did just that without my hand, it's just gonna bend over. Okay, so I'm turning and smoothing as I go along. You always need to use both hands while you're doing this kind of work. Now I'm gonna carefully, see how I started that? Okay, I'm gonna bring it back up, okay. Where I could peel it a little bit, pulled it down, and look at that, okay? There might be some areas that I need to smooth up. Okay, so I'm just smoothing that right there. And take the little clay tool here, the wooden clay tool, and do that. Smooth that up. If I want to smooth some of the edges around, I can too. I kind of like that. All right. So now we're just smoothing it up after we've taken it out of the mold. One thing we want to make sure we do right now is we put our name and class code on the bottom. So notice how I'm holding it carefully. You can set it down too, but you don't want to push too hard. And you don't want to push too hard because then it will go through the base and you're going to do it all over again. And you can put your class code, whatever that may be, for S, for B, or for R. Okay, now I'm going to flip this back over and just look for anything that I want to smooth out now with water. So I dipped my finger in the water. And I'm just going to go ahead. Notice I'm always carefully holding the clay. Okay, and I'm not pushing too hard because I don't want to lose the texture that I got on there. Okay, so I'm just coming around here, smoothing out any little parts. All right, remember, it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. And if you want to accentuate, that means make these stand out. I'm going to dip my clay pencil in the water and then just add a little more lines like that. So if you want to try that, you can. Otherwise, you can just leave it if you like the way that it looks as is. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'll catch you here in just a sec. All right, there we go. I've got my extra texture on here. I just want to remind us that clay has a memory. Notice I'm always holding it carefully, supporting it. If I was being like floppy and flimsy with it, okay, it would remember that. And then the next time you go to take it out of your bag to start the top, it would probably fall apart. Okay, clay has a memory, so be kind to your clay. This is looking pretty good. If I wanted to add any fun designs up here to match my idea for the top of my cupcake, I could. I'm gonna go classic cupcake. So I'm just doing little swirls to remind me of sprinkles there. Okay, and really we're just focusing on the base today. We're not worried about the top yet. We're gonna get to that next time. And so if you're done early, here's what we do for cleanup. Even if you're done right on time, here's what we do for cleanup. Okay, we're gonna put all our clay tools in the sink. All right, your clay is gonna go in your bag with your name on it. So before I started the video, I reminded us our name and class code should be on Sharpie on your bag. And then this can go right in here. And I can close that up, push down carefully, get most of the air out by going like that, and make sure it's closed all the way. And these will go back on our clay cart, okay, very carefully. And then we're gonna take these and put them in the sink as well, water buckets in the sink. Then I'm gonna take the sponge from the cart and sponge down my clay mat. Get all those little clay pieces up so that way we keep our lungs nice and healthy and safe. And then we can do wet wipe feet and wash our hands. All right, awesome artists, we'll see you later. Bye.